I'm recording first. I pressed record on our audio first, and then Phil had to try to speed up and do it on the phone.
You wonder why we haven't been recording for the last few weeks.
Yeah, why haven't we been recording for the last 3 weeks, Philip?
You're sick.
You were sick first, and then I was sick.
I was sick.
And then there's a reason. Anyways, welcome to Watch and Complain.
Episode
201, where we're talking about
Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
Woo! What were your initial reaction to the movie after you came out of it? Isn't that exciting? Even the fucking light didn't want to hear me. It turned off by itself.
You guys need to leave.
Yeah, it's a ghost. Because I was and we should tell everybody this. We purposely totally avoided talking to each other about this movie. Because Fast X I don't give a fuck about. Yeah, Fast X I don't care about. But I have great respect for James Gunn. I think he's a wonderful filmmaker in most cases. So I was really genuinely curious to hear for the first time, not over text, but to hear for the first time in person what you thought of the movie.
Oh.
I'll admit it is one that takes some thinking about to determine how you feel about it.
There's a lot all over the place. And I think that's the biggest problem with this is James Gunn's ADHD mind just got ahead of him. Like got all over the place. Like I think it was like a wonderland of fun for him, and he could just do whatever he wanted, and he kind of did. And there was stuff that just didn't make sense. Like
I think there was a combination of that and Marvel having like 2 stipulations. And they said, you can do anything you want, but these 2 things, these gotta stay.
What are they?
For me, nobody can die. That was their first one. I don't know why, because they have the Quantumverse.
Oh, okay.
But it was like, nobody can die. And I don't know if he was going to kill anybody in the first place anyway. Like, in all honesty, in the overall movie, wouldn't have mattered.
You're not really talking about the Quantumverse. You're talking about the upcoming
the
Wars?
Kangverse or whatever it is. Oh, there's
Secret Wars.
Whatever. I don't know.
The end of this phase.
Sure.
Yeah.
But I feel like there was
Secret Wars 1.
No killing anybody off, and no bringing in other characters
Because they want to kill people off during the Secret Wars.
That's what I think, but also no muddying our timeline. It's already muddy enough. Nobody muddying our timeline. We know you're jumping to DC, and you're not going to do anything with Marvel.
For your swan song that you want to do.
Yep, but you need these 2 things, and I think the 2 things were you can't kill anybody and don't bring anyone else in. But other than that, you have free range, and I think that worked badly for both parties.
Yeah, you could tell that he wanted to kill someone.
Yeah, I feel like he wanted to do something
people.
severe.
I think he wanted to kill them all.
Yeah, he wanted to do something really severe, and it came off as kind of James Gunn light in certain parts for me. There were some stuff that I fucking loved, but there were some stuff that I did not like at all. But I'll let you go first.
I hated that hallway scene.
I loved the hallway scene. That is classic James fucking Gunn. I loved it.
It was hard to follow. It was
I didn't think so. I thought
over the place.
Wonderful.
It was just
the Adam Warlock scene when he shows up and there's all the fucking bashing and crashing going on. I love stuff like that.
Maybe it's my ADHD mind, but I couldn't. It was just like, okay, fine, whatever.
So, all right. So I broke it into good and bad, and then I had a kind of a closing argument because I really, really wanted this movie to be a swan song, to be James Gunn going out on the best possible note. And for me personally, I found it. If I was to rewatch all the movies again, this is my least favorite. Guardians 1 is fighting an uphill battle and wins it. Guardians 2 has a set universe. We know you like these characters. Let's just have a little bit of fun. It's a bit kooky and a bit goofy and strays a bit from the first one, but with Kurt Russell's fucking solid performance, the introduction of Mantis, I really enjoyed the second one. I know a lot of people for some reason don't like the second one. I don't know why. I love the second one. This one is, why would you ever want to be part of the Guardians of the Galaxy after seeing this. Seeing the first one, these guys are having a ball. Seeing the second one, these guys are having a ball. Seeing the third one, these guys are a bunch of mopey, drunk crybabies. Yeah. And I was just like, I would never want to be part of this fucking group. But, sorry, good things first. The High Evolutionary fucking rules. As a bad guy, that actor, and I will butcher his name to try to pronounce it, so I will not try to pronounce it. That actor is sensational.
You
that
want
character,
to hate him.
That character's sensational.
Yep.
You genuinely fear what he's doing.
Yep.
Just like Thanos, you genuinely fear what he's doing. You know who you don't genuinely fear what they're doing? Fucking Kang. They should make, and now with all this Jonathan Majors bullshit.
Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves. That's back and forth.
I would love High Evolutionary to be the new bad guy.
But I feel like Kang hasn't been.
I think Kang sucks.
I don't think we've been given enough for Kang yet.
I think Kang as a bad guy sucks.
The Kang character is being given to us in pieces instead of like the High Evolutionary, which has got a movie.
But also High Evolutionary, I understand his drive.
Yeah, but you don't understand the Kang thing because we've only been given like 2 or 3 things.
You know what that says to me? You got nothing. That means you're bluffing.
This is the whole point.
I feel like they're fucking bluffing. They got nothing.
No, they have a whole thing.
Nope.
But it's pieces until we get the, Secret Wars or before that? I don't know.
Okay. But no, I think the reason we're not getting a lot of Kang is they got nothing. High Evolutionary, everything about him was so set up well. Great fucking villain. Amazingly acted. Really like the High Evolutionary.
I do too. Yeah.
The other thing, Adam Warlock. I thought this would be another Drax. Or another Kang where he's super tough and stuff. Adam Warlock was kind of fun. I found myself kind of the gold guy. I thought he was just silly enough to not be Drax and not be Kang, but to be enjoyable. Also, they didn't use him a lot. He was used very sparingly. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed him way more than I thought I was going to.
I felt bored by it most of the time. I warmed up to it a little bit, and I am willing to give them a go when they do this new Guardians of the Galaxy in the future. But as of right now,
I thought it was inventive. It was definitely not the Marvel formula. It was not cookie cutter, and it always felt like it had real stakes. Even when some of the stakes were kind of not big stakes, there were still stakes. I could not tell you. I think the stakes in Beatlemania were Ant-Man and his daughter and Lost and Michael Douglas and Michelle Pfeiffer had to get out of the quantum realm, and I think had to make sure Kang didn't get out of it. I think that's it. And then there's a fight at the end. But I think those are the stakes. But I couldn't tell you for certain. Does Kang get out? I don't remember. Do they get out? I don't remember. Does everybody get out? I don't remember. With this, even the MacGuffin of the movie is, hey, we need the thing for Rocket so we can read the thing on his thing, on his heart. Even that, in my opinion, it's a stupid MacGuffin, but I'll get into that in a second. But instantly you understand Rocket's going to die unless they get the thing. You know it right away. Got it. And that's the only one they stay on with. There's never, well, we got to make sure we get the thing, because when we get this thing, lets us get the other thing. And then if we get that thing, then we can open this thing. None of that. Got to get a thing for Rocket. We know our stakes right away. And the last thing that I liked is I thought the fights were great. I know you hated them. I thought War Pig was great. That organic space station was so stupid and goofy. I fucking loved it.
Yeah.
And Counter Earth was great. I love the idea of Counter Earth. I loved all of that. All of that felt very James Gunn.
Yeah.
Now the stuff I absolutely did not like, I think I just deleted my own notes. The Rocket backstory. One, the reason I did not like it is...
Was it too corny to you?
No, it was entirely unnecessary. Think of the movie... So this is what I want you to do for a second. Think of the movie in your head and where Rocket is in the whole movie. Rocket's basically strapped down until the last act of the movie.
Yeah.
If you were to do a Rocket gets badly hurt at the start of it, and then Rocket's out of the movie, and have a dream sequence of all of that hour-long animal torture stuff condensed into 15 minutes where Rocket's just kind of going through his backstory, it would be the same movie.
I don't think it would be as impactful, though.
I totally disagree.
This was
I
obviously the Rocket movie.
It was, but I found that backstory entirely unnecessary to the overall plot, and I found it extremely emotionally manipulative.
Oh, for sure.
Right?
But my guess is that this is stuff from the comics that, like, if you don't put in, then you're not a fan of the comics. Like, you got to put it in.
Yeah, I just found it totally, and I thought it was, I guess what bothered me about it being so unnecessary was I wanted it to mean a lot more. You know what I mean?
I feel like it would be awesome. Like, I didn't read the comics.
Neither
So
did I. No.
it would be pretty cool if they never said the origin of Rocket in the comics, and you were always left to go, I wonder. But if this was like James Gunn's version of what could have been,
But it's also,
Rocket's origin,
do you need Rocket's origin? Like, do you need to know where Groot is from?
I don't think you need it. But I think, like, what's the point in like saving Rocket? Like, who cares?
Yeah. Rocket.
But if you have this backstory, it means something.
It doesn't, though. It doesn't do anything to the overall. If you like Rocket, you like him whether he was operated on or not.
But you want to see the characters, like, what made Rocket Rocket.
And I guess that's the difference for me. For me, it was entirely unnecessary. I like Rocket whether or not he was operated on when he was younger.
Yeah, but no one's saying you couldn't, like.
No, and I know for some people they love it. I've seen some reviews. People are like, I love that backstory. And hey, dude, it's a James Gunn movie. I'm 100% on board to bolster up James Gunn stuff because he's inventive and he's original and he's a great writer and director. I really like James Gunn. So I'm not going to bash it and say it was shitty because of that. But for me, entirely unnecessary. The other thing, Quill is awful. I didn't know if it was Chris Pratt or the way the character was written, but he is charmless.
He's been phoning it in.
He's unfunny, mopey, and aggravating. He's the worst part of the team and seems annoyed to be along for the ride. Then he gets a stupid fucking Rambo ending that felt painfully forced, and we just don't know what to do with Quill. Just do something. They're too scared to kill him because they need him to come back more. And if Chris Pratt starts running out of money, they need him to be able to bring him back.
I think he's like the main person who's going to come back for Secret Wars.
And I just
most likely because like
he was the most unenjoyable part of this movie. He was mopey and he was belligerent and he was snotty. And you think of Quill from the first two, and he's kind of a Han Solo. He's kind of a rogue. This one, he was just an annoying jackass. I was constantly, I was like, oh fuck, Quill's back again. Great. What's he going to complain about this time? Like he was me. He was pissy and moany and bitchy
and drunk.
Yeah.
And
I'm like, I don't want to fucking see this. I want the fucking... And I know it's like, oh, Gamora. He lost Gamora. Yeah, okay.
But she's back.
But do we need to alienate who he was in the first two movies? I want that guy back.
I want
Fuck this guy.
happy him.
The F-bomb, so stupid. Why bother? It was one of those scenes where, you know, our theater laughed. And you know what? It's dropped not in a, like, hey, why don't you go... fuck yourself. Like, it wasn't dropped like that, but I was like, why? What's the point? Why bother?
Yeah.
The team lacked the charm of the first two movies. The comedy shtick constantly fell apart. They were trying, man. They were trying, but it wasn't working. Nathan Fillion is unlimitedly charming. Love Nathan Fillion. But the Guardians just fell flat. Every time they tried to be comical, for me, just whenever they would get into those signature James Gunn, no, it's on a different channel. This is not a private channel. This channel that everybody's talking to. Because Quill is such a mopey bitch, I was like, oh, fuck. If
they're not letting him be the funny, witty.
Yeah. And I don't know why, because that worked better. And then even with Gunn at the helm, it didn't have the guts to kill anybody. Not that I want anyone dead, but you could feel the company bureaucracy forcing them to stay alive at the end of it. And then ultimately is a fine film, but my least favorite of the three. That's how I felt about it.
And the interesting thing is they could have killed them all because from what I understand, and it's limited, Secret Wars pulls these characters
from different
in
universes.
Exactly.
Yep.
So it's like, what does it matter? Kill them in this one. But I think at the end of the day, they want to do separate things with these people if they have a chance.
Like TV shows with some of them and stuff like that. But ultimately, I enjoyed the movie. I did enjoy it, but it was, I guess I just wanted something bigger, man. I wanted something that I was like, man, what a great fucking send off for these characters. And it was not there. It was not this movie.
I'm pretty sure Quill is getting the TV show. Guardians will be a movie, but not done by James Gunn.
Yep.
Super happy about the dog.
Cosmo.
I love Cosmo.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Sean Gunn is happy that James Gunn makes these movies because he can keep on getting a job.
That too. I'm not big on him.
You know what? He's fine. Again, every
He's fine, but he's not like
I go for him.
Yeah. He's not like, oh, I want a movie about him.
I found the whole Gamora Quill thing. It just felt like this is stupid. Like this is just there is so much more that could be done here. And for me, the whole time I was thinking, I'm like, if you pulled out Rocket's whole backstory and just have like a flash or something where Rocket's coming to terms with a whole bunch of horrible shit that happened to him. He's out for blood for the High Evolutionary. Then when he realizes once he has the High Evolutionary there, he's like, I can't do it. I'm a Guardian of the Galaxy.
But it's a movie about him and the High Evolutionary and of course you're going to be like, well, why? Why is like, oh, because he operated on him. Why?
It makes Rocket out to be kind of a revengeful asshole. What he should be. I don't think he should be. He's a Guardian of the Galaxy. He should be, look, you did some terrible shit to me and you deserve to die for it. But the fact that you're going to kill all these people, that's why I'm stopping you. And you know why I'm not going to kill you? Because I'm a Guardian of the Galaxy. Which is effectively what happens. But you could take out that hour of Rocket being operated on just so 5 minutes of it in the backstory where Rocket.
It's not an hour of him being right. It's
basically
an hour
a
of
fucking
backstory.
hour. It's an hour of backstory.
Yes, and it's to get people's hearts around Rocket, like in his story.
It sure is.
Give him pity, make him feel for this character
so
who's always an asshole to everyone.
I'm looking
to the normal person who hasn't seen the backstory. Sure, you're like, oh, that's a cool character, and yes, you see some heart there, but you don't have like that full like empathetic thing for what he's gone through because you don't know what he's gone through.
So
now you do.
My son is an over-the-top animal lover, and when I first started reading reviews that the animal torture in this movie might bother some kids, we talked about it, and I was like, Elliot, you know it's not real and stuff like that. What's that?
You asked me because I
asked you how your son thought about it, and Elliot was like, no, I know it's all fake, so I'll be good. And I was looking over at Elliot the whole time, and he was like, ooh, like some stuff that happened, and he was upset that all of his friends died.
Also, this isn't a normal Disney movie, like Marvel movie. This does bridge, like goes on that line.
But it was funny. So we're the next day, we're walking the dog, and I said, "Hey boys, just curious." I said, "What do you remember about Rocket's backstory?" And Elliot brought up they operated on him, and he's a genius. I'm like, huh. And then remember all of his friends died? Oh, yeah. All of his friends died. And I was like, huh. So if they were to take out that whole part of the movie and just show you Rocket being operated on, Rocket remembering being operated on, and that he really hated the High Evolutionary, you think it would have had the same idea?
It's not just your kid. It's like a lot of other people.
But what I thought was funny was my son, who I thought would be like, no. You needed to have all that in there for me to get emotionally invested in it. Even he was like, and maybe he was just trying to, appease his dad type of thing. But I thought it was quite funny that he was like, yeah, Rocket being tortured was important. But all of Rocket's friends and stuff, you could have done without.
Or maybe he's just the age where it just doesn't.
Yeah, it's like water off a duck's back.
But maybe in like a couple years.
Absolutely.
He'll completely understand that.
I guess I was just really happy that I thought we were going to be dealing with a crying, emotional basket case of a kid, and he was like, I don't care.
And instead, you deal with me every week.
Like I bet you were crying like a little girl in the theater. So that's my good and bad. What about you? What did you enjoy the movie?
I hated the animals at the end. running off the ship. That whole scene was just.
It felt like it's just end.
Yeah.
Get to the end.
Exactly. There was a lot of this. Get to the end.
Yeah. Which you don't want to be feeling. Like when's the last time you can remember watching? For me, I know what Marvel movie it is, but the last time you were watching a movie and you're like, I kind of don't want it to end, man. I'm fucking loving this. I'm having a ball while I'm watching this. For me, is Endgame. In Endgame, that I could watch that end battle for hours. I just was having so much fun, and then I really didn't want the movie to end, and it went a bit farther than it should have. With the funeral for Iron Man, and then him handing off things for Captain America. I understand they had to do all that. But I really didn't want that movie to end. I really, really cared about those core characters. That movie was definitely
an example of how many stingers was in that movie?
Right? Holy fuck.
There was like 10 or something.
But this one, I didn't want to be feeling that way. And by the end of it, I was like, okay, guys, just, you're giving it the sign. Wrap it up. It's time to wrap it up.
Yeah, I felt like that through most of the movie. I did like the raccoon thing, the rocket stuff. I hated the... dude with the arrow, Kraglin. What else? This is how much it didn't stick with me. I
enjoyed it.
I didn't really care for this movie. Like it was all right.
How would you put it in comparison to the first two?
I prefer the first two for sure.
Yeah, it definitely is. And
I would actually prefer to watch the next one.
What's the next one?
The new Guardians of the Galaxy, because at least this way you're getting new characters and it's new characters.
This movie was my last, and maybe I'm wrong, and I'm always happy to be proven wrong. My last possibility for enjoying a Marvel movie for a very long time. Because I've seen the fucking trailers for the Marvels, and I'm not going to see the Marvels unless you force me to see it.
Isn't that what I do all the time?
The Secret Invasion? The Nick Fury one? I don't give a fuck.
I'm curious, but I'm really feeling like I'm going to be let down.
Yeah.
As I
feel like that with all of them.
Yeah.
I could care less for Kang Dynasty, care less for Secret Wars, care less for Blade.
The Marvels is not what I was hoping for.
No.
And it's like, did you see the trailer for it?
Yeah, unfortunately.
And they just keep switching places, and I'm just like,
but
this is what it is.
You know what it is? It feels like all of these movies now feel like movies made by committee. And same with Ant-Man. It feels like we've got to make sure that we get these, these specific fucking.
Wow.
We need to feel that that's how I'm losing weight, because I'm fucking starving myself.
Well, something else is
we
eating
need
the food.
My dick. We need to hit these specific notes. We've got to make. We've got a ton of committees that the movie goes through. They don't feel like art anymore.
I feel like what bothers me most is that they want to shoot everyone separate.
Yeah.
So that we can just cut it up and put it away, paste it up to whatever what we want to create.
It's no longer any sort of art. It's a product, and I hate that. I don't want to watch a movie that's a product. I want to watch a movie that I can get invested in. That's why this coming Thursday, I am very excited to see the new Ari Aster movie, Beau Was Afraid. Going with a friend of mine to the screening room.
Is that what it's called, Ari Aster?
No, the director's name is Ari Aster.
What's the movie?
Beau Was Afraid. It looks like it's going to be wonderful, and it's artistic, and I don't think it's an art house film, but it just looks like this is a guy's vision that he put on screen.
When you say artistic, I just lose interest.
God.
Yeah.
These fucking Marvel movies are made for you then.
They are, but
they
don't even hit.
I don't have any interest moving.
The last Marvel thing that probably really hit me was Loki.
Yeah, and even that, I remember watching Loki like, I am bored.
You didn't like Loki.
And you know what? The last Marvel movie that I was, and it's because I was 110% invested, was of course the end of the Avengers, right? The Infinity War or Endgame.
What was right before Loki? Wasn't there something?
Yeah, there was the
TV show that was right before.
There was WandaVision, and then Captain Soldier Metal Arm.
No, that was after. Wasn't
Captain Soldier Metal Arm and WandaVision came out around the same time. I believe WandaVision came out before Captain Soldier Metal Arm.
I thought Captain's. Yeah, I know that. WandaVision was first.
I should put the fucking mic next to my stomach.
You should. I'm sure it hears it.
Better.
WandaVision was first.
And I enjoyed WandaVision because it was so strange. It was not a formulaic show. A lot of people give that TV show a lot of hate. I don't know why. It felt just off the rails goofy
out of the
sometimes.
box.
I was having a ball watching
And then
WandaVision.
I really believe that the next TV show was...
Pretty sure it was Captain Soldier Metal Arm.
I don't think so.
I think it was.
I think it was Loki, and then it was Captain Soldier Metal Arm.
No, because I remember, you know why? Because I remember all the fucking memes. The constant memes of when Falcon and Winter Soldier
The
were on
funny
the
thing
plane
is, we
together.
could just look at our video history, and it would tell us. But yeah,
But regardless,
this movie
my
was
interest,
forgettable.
my interest was
Forgettable.
flying downhill. It is the first Marvel movie in a while where I cared to pay attention.
Yeah, because of James Gunn stuff. Sure.
Yep, but not even James Gunn stuff. Like the High Evolutionary and what he's trying to do feels like a real thing. Like, I'm going to wipe out this planet and start again. You're like,
Which
whoa.
you wouldn't get completely if you didn't have the backstory.
Yeah. That has nothing to do with the rocket story.
Yes, it does.
No, it fucking
The
doesn't.
whole rocket story is the backstory with the evolutionary.
I don't think so. I
That's
think
the
there's,
whole- that there's
I
nothing
think
else.
there's a way to
What-
do it
what
where
other-
you're not including that huge rocket part. You can fucking rocket this.
Okay.
That's what you got to do every time now moving forward. But yeah, I enjoyed it, but it was my least favorite of the
I
three.
don't care to watch it again.
I'm going to watch it to furiously masturbate to that orifice planet.
You just like saying orifice.
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 Horifice.
The only thing I like from this movie is that we're getting a new Guardians of the Galaxy, and one of them is the dog.
Yeah. Cosmo.
I have a Cosmo.
Do you know who
keychain.
Cosmo is voiced by?
Leslie Nielsen.
No, he's dead. If he was doing it, that'd be fucking awesome.
Is he dead?
He is dead. He's long dead. Remember
Not Leslie Nielsen.
the second Borat movie?
I never watched the second Borat movie.
Oh, the girl who plays his daughter. The second Borat
Oh,
movie. Yeah, she's a voice of Cosmo. You know what? I enjoy the Borat movies, kind
watched the
of,
first
sort of, because I think Sacha Baron Cohen is a
genius.
really, really intelligent comedian.
Yep.
I think he's a wonderful guy, and I love how willing he is to go for satire.
What ruined his career?
Hey, I was coming up with it while I was saying it.
Oh, you were just William Shatnering it.
I was going to William Shatner. I don't think he's ruined his career.
Yeah.
I think
It was,
Borat.
it was that one where it was like half his shtick and half scripted.
He did a TV show like I Love America or something?
No, that was later. This was a movie where he was like a international
Not the
dignitary.
Dictator.
Yeah,
The Dictator?
it might have been.
I
yeah.
thought The Dictator was a funny movie.
Yeah, I think it ruined it because I think what people wanted was
Borat again?
the fake, like real, like him being fake, but in real situations
But when you
and
watch
duping
him,
people.
as
And that's
in-
why he went back to the one you just mentioned.
Borat, yeah.
Not Borat.
Oh, yeah, America, I Love America, something like that. When you watch him as an actor, he's actually very good. You watch him in
I agree.
Hugo, that great Martin Scorsese movie. He's wonderful.
I totally
You know?
agree with you, but I think that's what ruined it because people wanted to see more of
Isn't nice on the
assholes
Borat.
no, but like even the stuff that he fooled the politicians in that America one, like that's the kind of stuff people wanted to see, and they were hoping to get that back, but it just, and it could be also that whole syndrome where like, oh, we've seen it,
Yep.
we don't need to see that kind of stuff again.
And I wonder if, he suffers from, and I imagine he must, from, Dave Chappelle went crazy, just tired of people constantly quoting fucking lines from his stuff to him.
yeah.
And can you imagine how quoted Borat must be to fucking poor Sacha Baron Cohen? He should be the next fucking Star-Lord as Borat. Imagine Borat in space.
It'll be like one from another universe.
I like a Gamora. She's nice.
You got to be careful with the accents.
Quiet. All right.
What would you rate this out of 10?
Oh, shit. You know what? 6. Give it a 6 out of 10.
Yeah, I would give it a 5. I'm just not.
I'm never going to watch it again. But the parts that I enjoyed, I was really enjoying. And I really hope that that's not true. Jonathan Majors is a good actor. He's just had some issues in his past. You got to be held accountable when you do bad things.
We don't have the full story yet, right?
But
Like we don't.
if-
we just have like someone saying, "Oh,
if
he did this."
he is guilty of stuff and they decide to pull him out, again, I hope whatever happens is justified.
Replace him with the high evolutionary.
Oh,
for sure.
I'd love it. I'd
It
love
would,
to
it
see
would totally F up the whole.
putting the high evolutionary in place of Kang would significantly increase my interest in what comes next. Because as it is right now, I have less than zero
or
interest.
the high evolutionary is one of the Kangs.
Right? I could be down with that.
That could work.
But I don't care about the upcoming Marvel Universe stuff. I just don't give a shit. But if the High Evolutionary was the next big bad guy, maybe they could find some way to do that. Anyways, the point is, my favorite type of
I'm sorry we didn't do the
Blizzard is
Is it-
Crispy Crunch. They used to
Really?
have it. They don't do it anymore.
Well,
I
where-
can't find Crispy Crunch Blizzards fucking anywhere.
Can you find the chocolate bar? Do they still
Oh
sell
shit!
that?
I could just smash it in there.
Do they
couldn't I?
still sell it?
Yeah.
I don't look for it. I'm not a fan.
You're not a fan of Crispy Crunch?
Not really. No.
Really? Eh? What's your favorite go-to chocolate bar?
Wonder Bar.
Really? Let's just say I fucking hate Wonder Bar. I hate it.
Freeze it.
Why?
It crumbles in your mouth when you eat it. It's really nice.
I think my top chocolate bar is Crispy Crunch. Second favorite, Coffee Crisp. Third favorite, It
That's-
gets in by a
it's-
hair.
it's
It's got to be Mars Bar.
Crazy that you like Crispy Crunch, but you don't like Wonder Bar. It's not that you don't like it. I get it.
You know, I'd have to try it again because I feel like
Freeze it.
in my past something happened where I was like, ooh, Wonder Bar just turned me right the fuck off.
Okay, so if you freeze it, you'll get that crispy crunch like feeling.
Really?
Yeah. And I do the same thing for Kit Kat Chunky.
Oh, yeah, I like Kit Kat
and
Chunkies.
then
They're
if
good.
it doesn't fall apart as much. It's not brittle, but it does. I like it cold.
Yeah,
I like my chocolate cold.
I love. We went to Dairy Queen this weekend. This weekend or late last week,
Put a peanut butter cup in the freezer.
and I couldn't. They didn't have a Crispy Crunch one. I like the
They have
Reese's.
so many varieties right now.
Why wouldn't you have a Crispy Crunch one?
Yeah.
You know what's going to happen? We're going to finish this fucking video. Ah, fuck, they're not open. I
It's
think
going to
they
be
close at
1
9.
a.m. Damn. The last time I had a blizzard, I died.
Why?
I died out of my ass.
It was a blizzard.
It was like you couldn't see.
One thing, my favorite thing about coffee, I know you're not a coffee drinker.
It's just I'm lactose intolerant.
Very lactose intolerant.
I guess
So-
so.
We went to Montana's last night. Every weekend we go out to dinner. We went to Montana's, and I had a full rack of ribs, and I had my skillet thing, and I was very stuffed. And then this morning, I had while I'm working, I had 2 cups of coffee, and I'm very glad I work from home
Ejection.
because when your body is, it is legitimately my favorite. I don't care for the. I like the taste of coffee, but
Not when it comes out though.
But the great thing about coffee, you're like, okay, I've drank my coffee. I've got 10 minutes at max where my stomach says, doop, doop, doop. Then it goes, go to the bathroom. Like coffee is perfect that way. It's like, God, I'm bloated and I feel stuffed up. How do I get this feeling out of me? Coffee. Put coffee in your
You know,
system.
people say the same thing about ADHD meds.
Really?
Is that they take their meds and then eventually it sets in, and you get a feeling of calm and focus, and you have to poop.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's fucked up. Never knew that. No, that has the kind of little spark of alertness and awakeness you get from coffee is great, but it's the clearing out your guts.
Probably
is my
because
favorite
they
part.
are both.
Diuretics? I think they are.
No, I was going to say they cause you to cause alertness.
You hear pooping.
You hear pooping. So when you hear pooping,
You're like, it's like when you hear a waterfall. You're like, God, I got to pee.
exactly.
And when you hear someone else shitting their guts out, you're like, man, I got to shit
That's
my
why
guts
when
out.
I go to a toilet, I mean,
I try to be as loud as I can in the urinal. I'm like, or not urinal. In a
Whoa.
stall.
you're one of those guys. Drop trout.
Well, this went off the rails very quickly.
Speaking of blizzards, thank you,
You sign off.
Dairy
then.
Queen.
This episode is sponsored by Dairy Queen's Coffee. Nope. Crispy Crunch Blizzard.
That's non-existent.
I'm sure it was. I'm so fucking certain that I have had a Crispy Crunch Blizzard. I'm sure of it, man. You should look it up on your internet device.
Do you think it's because Crispy Crunch is peanut butter, and they are not Nestle, and Nestle wants their own peanut butter, so it's all
Peanut butter cups?
yeah.
Probably.
What's your aside from if you could pick a Blizzard right now?
Reese's peanut butter cups.
I like cookie dough and Reese's peanut butter cups.
I don't know. I've heard everybody trying cookie dough. Whenever I go there, I'm always like, I see the cookie dough and I'm like, eh. But then I go with
I get them
Reese's peanut butter
mixed.
cups. I didn't know you can mix them.
Oh yeah, you can put any toppings. You have to pay like a little extra. But,
Oh, for God's sake.
but the last one I had that made
I
me
should,
go,
I should fucking tell them. I'll bring them a Crispy Crunch bar and I'll be like, put this into the fucking thing.
yeah.
What are they going to do?
Crumble.
I'll just have to use
crumble
my charms on whatever young man or young woman is behind the counter. And I can say that because I'm older than everybody.
You know they're just going to be like, well, sir, we can't do that because if something happens to your health, then we're liable.
And I'd be like, did you know that I was alive when...
But, no, listen.
I was born the year Star Wars came out.
You get a Crispy Crunch.
And they'd be like, wow, this guy's so sexy being born the year Star Wars came out.
You get a Crispy Crunch. You freeze it. You shatter it. You bring it with you in a bag. You get them to make...
See, mine is just like they think I'm a lecherous old pig. Yours gets me arrested because they think I'm an escaped mental patient.
No. You go there. You get... This is what will make you the escaped mental patient. You ask them for a McFlurry with no ingredients in it.
At Dairy Queen. Give me McFlurry with no fucking ingredients in it.
You get them to make a plain Blizzard. And then you guarantee they'll look at you like...
Or give me...
What do you mean by a plain Blizzard?
the ice cream cone with the little head on it where they harden the chocolate and they'll chop its head off and then pour all the fucking Crispy Crunch into
You
it.
just get the Blizzard because after they whip it up, it's easy to mix. Put the Crispy Crunch in it, you mix it yourself, and then you eat.
Hey, when you go in, they still have to turn it upside down for you, right?
Yeah. But they do it behind the counter sometimes because at this point, I feel like they just have to prove to their job that they did it right.
Yeah, I feel like there's fucking cameras watching them, and someone's like, "You didn't turn that Blizzard upside down."
But I think the cashier is supposed to come up to you and show you, and then give it to you.
What is the purpose of doing that? Showing you it doesn't fall out?
The fact that it's thick enough, and that it's mixed that it's not a thin running out ice.
I'm going to start doing that with sexual partners. I'm going to whip out my dick and go, I can hang it upside down. Technically, yes, it is. Yeah. No, it's kind of hanging the right side down.
It depends if you start out happy.
You know what? If I do a somersault. All right. Well, we're sorry that you've been watching Watch Complain. This episode went right off the rails talking about blizzards.
It's just like any property made by James Gunn.
It has a blizzard?
Right off the rails.
It's true. But I don't...
Hanging upside down.
Please follow us on all of our socials like YouTube and Instagram and Facebook and website and Twitter. Are we on Twitter?
Just go to watchingcomplain.com.
And go to watchingcomplain.com.
And below any video on YouTube, there's a
any video on YouTube.
Below any...
Let us know what your favorite Blizzard flavor is and what Blizzard flavors you'd like to see.
Are you still here?
You're probably not.
Mom?
All right. Bye, everyone. Fade out. Philip put my favorite Blizzard right here. Is this still recording? All right. I'm turning the audio off.